Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Tyson, and today I will be discussing what the National League West standings will be looking like for the 2026 MLB season. If you like what I've been doing on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing. It will mean the world to me. Now, let's get going. We obviously have to start with one of the most greatest dynasties we have seen in recent memory, and it's currently in its apex. The Los Angeles Dodgers. You can say without a doubt they are going to be one of the best teams in baseball right now, with guys like Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and also a newly added outfielder in Kyle Tucker, which they're going to have for 3 or 4 years, I believe. The Dodgers are going to be one of the most complete teams in baseball thanks to the manager of baseball operations and Andrew Friedman and general manager Brandon Gomes. These two guys have completely changed the landscape of trading in baseball forever. They have done such trading practices that no team will ever dare to do, other than the Dodgers. Keep this in mind, they are owned by a bank. Let that sink in. Anyway, let's talk about him. Now, before we get into the rest, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Shohei Ohtani. You know that he's a two-way guy, right? He can hit and he can pitch. Well, he is going to have much more of the pitching this season. Not last season because he had deals with his pitch with issues with his arm. He is now fully healthy and ready to do his job on the mound. Speaking of pitching, not only will Shohei be on the mound, but Edwin Diaz for a 3-year, $69 million contract. So, if you're going to lay out the entire Dodgers pitching, you're going to have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, and Shohei Ohtani. All of it, but I'm missing some. You can look at this entire Dodgers roster and think, man, that's one of the most complete rosters in baseball. Or you could say, this team is straight out of a video game. And I can personally say this team is literally the Avengers. And the Dodgers are collecting these players like Infinity Stones. It's honestly insane. But everything in this world has to have its imperfections. For example, some of the main players on this roster, like Max Muncy, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman, are starting to age. I mean, they've been aging, but they're probably gonna cause some problems for the Dodgers because they may have injuries. They may have injuries because of their age, which might warrant some concern in the Dodgers roster. Not only will the main position players receive injuries, but we got some players coming back. For example, River Ryan tore his UCL during the season, which had him out for the rest of it, and he's going to be coming back, in which he's going to have to be limited, I think, because you don't want to injure a player whenever they're like just about healed, but immediately when you put them out there, they just crumble. So some of these pitchers are going to have to be a game time decision by the Dodgers and see, okay, am I going to put this guy in or should I lay him on the bench? That is going to be what the Dodgers are probably going to have to do. Now, moving on to this offseason, people around the baseball world are wanting a a salary cap, and because of the Dodgers trading practices and collecting players, I'm going to say it again, they're collecting players like Infinity Stones, and people are not happy with it, saying it's unfair. And I can see why they say that. They're owned by a bank. I said that again. Now, not only it could be a lockout season, which means I think it's going to limit trades for a specific team. So that is going to cause the Dodgers some problems and issues they're probably going to have to tackle. And not only that, the Dodgers, obviously, they won the World Series twice. They are going to have very high expectations, and I'm going to be one of them who's going to have high expectations, which is why I'm going to put them at number one, because they have the most complete roster in baseball. They have addressed their issues with trades, and also they now have a permanent pitcher in Shohei Ohtani, who's gonna fold hitters like lawn chairs. Now let's move on south from the world champions to Slam Diego, which is home of the San Diego Padres. Now the Padres, they have a good amount of positives, yes, but they do have some negatives. Let's talk about it. Now, the Padres, they are going to have one of the more better infield defenses this season, with guys like Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, and Xander Bogaerts. These three will provide offensive power and defensive shows on the diamond. Also, not only are they going to be good in the infield, but also in their pitching with guys like Mason Miller and Jeremiah Estrada. This Padres team has been vowing and begging for a win in the postseason, specifically against the Dodgers. They have been doing so since 2020. And I believe that this is their season to topple them. Maybe. Probably not. But I believe they're going to have a better chance of doing so. But not all things can be good. But before I can get into the negatives, let's talk about the offseason. There has not been much drama or action with them. They've just been doing international signings and just regular extensions. Like, for example, Michael King has his contract extended through 2028. Also, we have some new guys, specifically from the Korean Baseball Organization, KBO. And his name is Sung Mun Sung. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. For a 4-year, $15 million deal. And a Taiwanese prospect, Lan Hong Soo. Oh, I hope I did not butcher that. These two guys are going to bolster this roster, specifically Lang Hong-soo, to boost his pitching depth even more. Now, let's move on to the negatives, which most of the negatives I'm going to talk about with the Padres are going to be from injuries. You are going to be hearing a good amount of injuries. So, brace. So, the Padres have been beaten up with injuries last season, like Joe Musgrove, he's returning from Tommy John surgery, and Michael King having issues with his shoulder and an inflamed knee. Also, the Padres lost some key guys like Dylan Cease to the Toronto Blue Jays, and also closer Robert Suarez is moving out of the Padres, moving from the Padres to free agency and then being signed to the Braves, Atlanta. So, which has left a void for new pitchers to fill in. Speaking of new, the Padres are going to have to focus more on getting new guys from AAA to the show. so they can fill in those spots. Also, the teams in the division, in their specific division, are not going to be easy. With the Dodgers, this goes without saying, and also the Giants. The Giants, they are going to be a pretty good dark horse this season. I'm going to bet that. So, with all this in mind, I'm picking the Padres at number 2 because they are just dead center. But they are not better than the Dodgers, but they are better than the Giants. So, Padres, you are going to be beneath the Dodgers once again. Now, moving up to the Bay Area of California, you are going to be looking at a pretty decent baseball team up there in the San Francisco Giants. Now, you can make an argument that they are going to be pretty decent, and I mean pretty good this season. In fact, I'm going to have them as my dark horse for the season because they overall they are pretty good all around. They have a pretty solid infield with third baseman veteran Matt Chapman at third, Willy Adames at short, Luis Ariz at second, and Rafael Devers at first. Laying that all out, that is a pretty good infield you got there. Also, not only are they good in the infield, they are pretty good with hitting also, with Willy Adames and Rafael Devers contributing 65 home runs. That we need to, for the Giants, if you're Giants fans right now, you would need that to go up. Because, obviously, who doesn't like home runs? And not only do they can hit home runs, they can also make contact and get on base. Like outfielder Jung Hoo Lee, hopefully I didn't butcher that, with 149 hits contributed. Holy crap. Keep this in mind. There are 162 games in a season. Do the math. Anyway, I personally believe that this Giants offense is going to be one of the more underrated offenses this season. But not all things are going up for the Giants. For example, this Giants pitching staff has been trying to fill in those little holes in their pitching. Well, not a rookie anymore. Logan Webb and veteran pitcher Robbie Ray have filled in most of it. Yes, they have. But it would be nice for the Giants to fill in those little holes so that they won't bite at them at the end of the season. But speaking of Robbie Ray, he's a veteran. And the Giants are doing what other team does. Sign veteran pitchers or players for temporary success. That's what my Cardinals have done. That's what other teams have done. I mean, who hasn't done it? Honestly. Anyway, this is common for teams to use a strategy to try to save money, but for some reason they do not just think about the cons of it, though. And also, these veteran pitchers are susceptible to injuries, which teams nowadays need to focus on that, dude. They need to focus on that whenever they're trying to get veteran pitchers. But also, the division is going to be difficult. That goes without saying. You got the Dodgers, obviously, and the Padres, which these two teams are probably going to be the only issues that the Giants are going to have to tackle in order to move up. So, with all this in mind, Giants are going to go in the third spot because they'll be able to handle some of the stuff in this division, but they are not going to handle the biggest things, the most important things, all that stuff. So, Giants, be happy that you are not like the other two teams that are down below you. Now, here's a team from Arizona who is going to be a dark horse for some people this season, because they picked up Nolan Arenado from my St. Louis Cardinals. I'm still getting over that. Also, they extended Merrill Kelly and have done some other signings this offseason. So, I personally believe the Diamondbacks, with the way they have improved, they are going to be in the same boat as the San Francisco Giants, which is why I believe that the number 3 spot is going to be competitive in this division. It's going to be like the Dodgers and the Padres. Ring around the rosy over and over again. It's going to switch. And the Diamondbacks and the Giants are going to do ring around the rosy with the 3rd place spot. It's going to switch over and over and over again. The Giants and the Diamondbacks, I believe, are going to be in the same level this season. The Diamondbacks, I think some people thought that they're going to try to get back into the playoffs last year, but they did not make it. No, they did not make it. But I firmly believe that they're going to be better this year, because not only Nolan Arenado, obviously, he's going to be paired with the likes of Ketel Marte, which these two guys are going to be a dynamic duo. I personally believe that because they're good at defense, but they're also pretty decent at offense. Not only, speaking of offense, the offense is going to be expected to be just as good as the defense, with guys like Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, and Geraldo Perdomo. These 3 produced great offensive power for the Diamondbacks, and keyword if, Corbin Carroll comes back to his 2023 and 2024 self, you are going to be looking at a playoff team. I guarantee you. On the other hand, injuries. The Diamondbacks got hit with injuries like a freight train. Starting with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He suffered a torn ACL, will miss the first few months of the season, but is expected to get off the IL by June. The pitching side of things are also not looking good, with guys like Corbin Burnes, who will be out for the first half of the season due to Tommy John surgery, and also another great arm, and Zach Gallen has cut ties with the Diamondbacks to pursue free agency. The bullpen is also not looking good. Justin Martinez and AJ Puk will miss the first half of the season due to arm injuries. So, coming into the season, the Diamondbacks are going to be beaten up and need to fill in spots. The Diamondbacks are going to have to carry a good load if they're going to have to stay out of that 5th spot. So, for the first half of the season, don't expect the Diamondbacks to be on top of their game, because they are going to be missing guys, and also they're going to have the need to fill in some holes in specifically pitching. They're not looking so hot on pitching. I can tell you that right now. And now, moving on to the offseason, I already said this like a million times. They picked up Nolan Arenado. They also traded away Josh Naylor which is now with Seattle for 5 years, and Eugenio Suarez signed out of free agency for the Reds this season. So I'm going to say it again. The Diamondbacks have some holes to fill in for the first half. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Because they are dealing with injuries, and there's a void in pitching. So they're going to give up runs. I'm going to bet that. They're going to give up runs, and they are going to lose. I'm going to say most of their games in the first half. So with all this in mind, I think the first half for the Diamondbacks will be too much of a wait in order for the Diamondbacks to get a chance in the wild card. So I'm going to put them at the 4th spot. Because 1, division's not going to be easy. And 2, the Diamondbacks are coming into the season beaten up. They need some holes to fill in. All this stuff. They are not good right now. So don't expect them to be on top of their game in the first half. So Diamondbacks, hoping y'all will make the playoffs, because sure would be nice. Five. They are going to be the doormat of the league. What a stupid franchise. Why am I even talking? So here is my overall predictions for the NL West this season. Dodgers 1, Padres 2, Giants 3, Diamondbacks 4, and Rockies at 5. So let me know down in the comments your thoughts on my predictions. Tell me if you have anything different or you just want to say something. And that's pretty much all I got for you. So see you next prediction video.